Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kuli. So today we'll be learning how to make this padded spaghetti dress. It's a flared dress. It has you can tie the sleeve or you can just attach it straight to your dress. But before we get started, please make sure to like and subscribe. So the first thing is to get your pattern paper ready. Then after that, you take your measurement. I measure to know the amount because of the rough side, to know the amount I'll use. You know, if it's your off shoulder, you remove your off shoulder. Here I remove the strap. I use 8 inches. Like, you minus your strap length to get your full length, that is your half length. You minus your strap. I minus 8 inches for my strap, then I got the full length of the top, that is the underbust plus 2 inches, that is the half length. The next thing is again to minus the strap, then I minus the strap, I got the underbust. The way you minus your off shoulder to get any measurement that you want, that is what you should do here. So the next thing is to get your bust point. If you don't, you can measure your bust point, but I don't have this person's measurement, the bust point measurement. So from her underbust, I went up by 4 inches. This depends on the. It depends on your bust size. If you're on the small part, you can go up by 3 from your underbust. So the next thing is to get the chest line. The chest line that I use here is 9.5 because I use 9 for her chest line. Also, or from this starting line, you can go down by 3 inches. That is from her shoulder, you can go up down by 3 inches. That was what I did instead of minusing it. So I just removed the down part. The next thing is to get your bust point to bust point. Her bust point to bust point is 4 plus 1 inch is 8. Divided by 2 is 4 plus 1 inch. Sorry, I wanted to. So you take your bust point to bust point, take the line straight, then you rule it. Then at the underbust, I went out by 1 inch. The half length, I went out by 1 inch. The bust point, I went down by ½ inch. Then I connected the lines this way. So the next thing is to this your chest line. At your shoulder line or your chest line, I went out by 1 inch, went in by 1 inch. Then I connected it with a slant curve. Just connect it with your curve. So the next thing is to take your ram bust measurement, then connect your shoulder. This is an armhole. I took her bust measurement, then connected it straight to that line there. So the next thing is to take your waist measurement, measure the dart, replace all the darts. You can see the way I connected my shoulder. So as to your chest line, you measure your chest line and everything. So you check the dart intake there, then you replace everything. So this is it for the front. It's ready already. So just watch to see how I'm going to cut it out. Just take the lines down to your half length. So you measure it. So for the underbust tightening, you can go to your underbust, go out by half inch, then connect it straight to your half length. At your underbust, this will give it a good fitting. Then you rule out the real line, like the main line. So this is our new line for the busty. So at your underbust, you go out by ½ inch, come in by ½ inch, then you replace it. You will see that the darts change, so you just replace all the darts. That is it for this, and the front is ready. Please watch to see how I'm going to cut it out. This is very simple. Please, if you don't understand this, you just drop a comment and I'll take you through it. So you just cut the side and the armhole. If you're cutting this, you don't need to add any allowance again because you've added it already. Then the next thing is, she said that she want the front to have a neckline. Then the back, it will also have a neckline. So from her shoulder line, chest line, I went down by 4 inches. This depends on how wide you want yours to be or how low you want yours. So I connected it straight. This paper is not full, that's why I cannot open it for you to see how it looks, but this is it. Make sure you knot your bust points for you to know how to join it. And this is it. Now to cut the back, you also remove the strap to get your half length. Then also remove your strap, which is 8 inches, or yours can be 9, yours can be 6. It depends on how tight you want it. So I got her underbust. From there again, I got her chest line, her underbust, which is not necessary, but I just cut all the lines. Then I trimmed down the excess, her chest line and everything. So I did her nipple to nipple, also connected it with a straight line. Then at her underbust, I went out by half inch in, ½ inch out instead of 1 inch, just to connect a straight that you don't need to make this place to have one. So at her chest line, went out by half inch instead of 1 inch, so this will be very okay. So I measured her bust, her round chest, her round waist, then I added the same allowance of 1 inch, then I connected it the way I also connected the front part. Then this is what we'll have for the bag. It's just simple. Please remember to add your zipper allowance, which I'm going to add it on the cloth if I'm cutting it out. I wanted to use a loop for a lace the back, but yeah, I still went down by 4 inches for the V neckline, which I brought out the zipper allowance side, but yeah, I didn't trim it out. But I said I was going to add it later or use a loop for the back. Well, I later used, which came out very well. So you just cut out the back. So this is the back neckline. It's also V, so you add zipper allowance if you're cutting it out on your fabric, or you can cut it with. So I decided to add the zipper allowance here, so I had to cut the center back again. I brought out 1 inch for the zipper allowance, then I extended the V neckline to that zipper allowance. Then everything is just equal and the same, just do the same thing. Then this is it, not your zipper part, and this is, please, you have 2 pieces of the center front. Then I did my zipper, I removed 1 inch with a slant curve, the zip, to remove any bulging at the zipper part. So here is the flare part. I said let me cut the flare part before cutting the main fabric. Sorry, not the main fabric, before cutting the down the upper part, so that any pieces that I have left after cutting the flare, I will now use it to cut the front. Please iron your fabric, don't mind me. So you just fold this way. Please check the way I'm folding. You fold your fabric into 2, then fold it in a triangular form or a bias form. I wanted the flare to be a double flare, like the front will be a double flare, so that it will be very full. I don't want a scanty flare, so I had to double the flare. So after that, you now get your waist measurement, your round waist measurement. So your round waist divided by 4. So I use, for the radius, I use 10.5 to get her round waist. I checked the first one, it wasn't enough for her round waist. I just wanted to get, this is the front, I'm not cutting the back and the front. Normally I'm meant to use this for the back and the front, but I used only this for the front. Then I also cut another one. This is 2 yards of fabric and I didn't finish it, though the person is not slim, but it was enough. It's just the flare part that will consume material. So I ended up using 11.5 for the radius. Then after that, you now minus your half length to get the full length of your top. So I checked for the radius. I ended up using 10.5 or 11. So, but you don't need to add any allowance. I didn't add any allowance because it was wide enough. So the next thing is to place your tape on the radius, minus your underbust. I minus 17 to get a full length of 36. Then I added 1 inch, making it 37. So you just place it, take your 37 round. So you place your tape, mark your 37. If you place it on that the same end and mark it round, you will notice that one part will become short. So when you get to this part, you just move your tape again, place it the way you place it the other side for you to get an equal length. So I moved it. I was moving it because I wanted to have an even length. I wanted my length to be the same. So I checked everything, checked my flare. So please, when you get to the other part, don't just place it that way and be running it. When you get to the other part, you also come down and measure it. And that is it for the flare. So once you are sure of the lines, the circle, you just cut it out, place it to cut exactly the same thing for the back. Cut exactly the same thing, leaving 1 inch allowance. So you just place your front pattern on the back to cut out. I left 1 inch. Look at this is me marking out 1 inch zipper allowance at the side. That is for the back one. Then I cut through the back the zipper allowance. Then I notched it for me to know that that is the zipper allowance. Then I arranged it to be sure that you are cutting the right thing, and that is it. That is just the front and the back. Next thing is to open it up, trim it very well, open it up, notch the middle of the midpoint of the front, then the back, or you also notch it. That is how it is. Look at me. then this is the front. Sometimes this one piece is supposed to be the back and the front, but I'm using it because I want it to be full. If the up is not going to have sleeve to give it that big fit, you just make the down to be very full. You will still have the same fitting, than making the front to be the upper part to be simple. Then you just cut a simple flare. It will look somehow. It will not give you that big fitting. It will just look somehow. So here you just slit here, you fold the back, get the midpoint and slit it open. You should have two pieces for the back, one piece for the front. So the next thing is to cut out your fabric, your pattern on your fabric. Cut the front fabric, and here is the back also. And yeah, so I use the same fabric to line it. So this is it. The next thing is to cut out the wording for the padding. So from the underbust, I went up by 7 inches. That is the length of the wording that I'm going to cut for the sides, for the side front. So I went, I'm sorry, for the center front, please, it should be on fold. For the center front, it should be on fold, and don't let your wording get to your neckline. That is the V part. It should be 7 inches long, then 4 inches wide. Or if you know how to do it, or you can just trim that V part. So I made the wording also to be V. So I measured to know the length of the one, so it doesn't get to the neckline. So when I open it up, this is how it's looking. So when I place it, it will look this way. But after gumming it on the fabric, I also use a semi-light gum stay, that is paper stay, to iron on the neckline so that it will not be falling, to have some weight. So for this also, I went up for the side front, I went up by 7 inches, 4 inches wide. This, you should have 2 pieces of this, and make sure you are cutting the 2 pieces together for you to know. So that is it. Place it and cut it that way, then indicate the part that will go to the front and the parts that will go to the back. So I notched where will go to the front. I made a mark to where will go to the front. So here I'm done joining it. Sorry that I didn't really make a video of joining. Just hold the two together, and after joining the pad, I also joined the back to the front using 1 inch, even though I brought out 1.5 inches for the allowance, but I later used 1 inch. Then for the strap is I made a strap which is 24 inches length and 1 inches wide. So you just sew on it, turn it out with a broom the way I did this way if you want a tiny strap. So you just cut a strap that is 1 inches wide, then 24 inches long for you to tie it. I don't want to attach it, I want to leave it for her to tie because she's not coming to pick it up. So it's perfect, the person ties it herself. So for you to fix the strap, you just place it on that side, on the dart, then you hold it down with a pin. Also pin the back also on the dart side, pin both on the dart side. That is where your sleeve should be. That is where I have 4 pieces of the strap, then you can hold it down by half inch, then also sew on the V, hold it down, back stitch, joining the sleeve, the straps. These are the straps, and this is how it's looking. This is how it looks. And here is the back. Remember I told you that she wants the front and the back to be V, as I have this. So when you knot it, it will be like this. When you tie it, it will be like this. You know how to tie it. I will not be the one tying it. So this way you have something like this, and this also you have something like this. So here's the back, here is the front. So look at my lining, how the lining and the front is looking so smooth already to the neckline. So what I top stitch it to, if you cannot top stitch it, leave it, and it's not that easy to top stitch on a V neckline. So, and another thing, after top stitching it, or if you don't want to top stitch it, if you have a hemming comb, that sleek white paper that has comb, I don't have it here. The one I have is finished. So if you have it, just after joining everything, just open here, place it inside and iron it. It will lap more, like it will hold this thing down. But I don't have it, that's why I have to iron it very well. If you don't have it, just give it a good press, because everything is looking so beautiful. So the next thing after doing this, you can remove the strap. So you know, you notch to the center. That is the midpoint of the front. You just notch it, bring it together and notch it. Just notch this thing. And here is your down part. I've joined the side, both sides. Look at it. I don't know if I'm going to add a pocket to this, but after joining it, I'm not decided to add a pocket to it. So you also get the midpoint. And here I have my midpoint also. So the next thing is to take your midpoint, the front midpoint. Remember I said I'm going to gather this, but I'm not gather it. I'll just gather it here. this way. So you get the midpoint and place it, the midpoint facing each other. Make sure everything aligns very well that place. Then if you have any excess here, you can trim out the excess. That is the side. So you also get the side of this. I'm going to open it up. Also get the side of your lining. Make sure everything is placed together very well. So you get the side of your down part. Also get the sides to go to side. So you place it this way. Also hold it down. Then when you get to this point, you also get your zipper allowance. I've closed this part, and you get also the zipper allowance of this one. You hold it like this. So the zipper allowance like this. So you also hold it down. So you also hold it down. You do the same thing here. You do the same thing. Just trim the excess part. So you also get the side that you joined. You also get the side of your skirt part and join it also like this. You hold it down. You open it again, get the side of your, remember that this, the waist is big, the down part, the skirt waist is big. I know why I did it like that because I want to gather it. So you also hold it down. So this is how you are going to start your sewing. You know this place now, look at the SS for this side. The side that you have, look at the SS. I mean, what I'll do, or you can gather this, you can gather it with your loose stitch. What I'm going to do is that this side now, I'll just gather it with my hand like this. If I'm sewing, I'll gather this side, all this side now, I'll gather it. If I'm gathering, I'll be holding it down with my machine. So I'll just gather this part now. I'll gather all this allowance to the side. This side has this allowance. So when you gather it, will look like this. So after gathering it, I'll come here again. Look at the excess I have on this part also. I'll gather it. That is what I'm going to do till I gather everything. So I'll just gather it and show you the outcome. Look at what I have here. So I'll just gather it now and show you how it looks.